So this is where, he goes to this particular soldier. And by now he is fine. The soldier is hale and hearty. He is walking around. He's absolutely fine. And he also comes to know that his name is Tom, but Dr. Sadao does not want to talk to him, does not want to tell his name, because he does not want to keep any kind of personal relationship with the soldier. So one day he walks up to the soldier's room and he tells the soldier that, now that you're so fine, I'm sure you can row a boat and go away from here. And when the soldier hears this, he's quite surprised. And he thanks Dr. Sadao. Okay, he says, oh my God, you're so concerned for me. You're such a good person. You thought about me. You're saving me. And Dr. Sadao says, don't be under the false impression that I'm saving you, but actually I'm saving myself. I'm saving my family. Okay, which was actually true. Because of the soldier's presence, both the husband and wife were not at ease. They were having a tough time, a lot of tension. And if, people would discover this enemy in their house, they would be in problem. So he goes to the market. He buys fresh clothes, blankets, additional clothes, and then some water, food, everything. And in the evening, he keeps everything, all those things in his boat. He carries a flashlight in his hand and he walks up to the enemy's room. There he meets the enemy and he tells him, he had already given a Japanese dress also to this particular soldier. And when he went to meet him in the evening, the soldier was already in the Japanese dress. And then he tells the soldier to leave. But before leaving, he gives some kind of instructions to the soldier. Firstly, 2 flashes of light in case the supply gets over, and he is to fish but not to make fire. Okay, and also if he is still well and still on that island, flash once, okay, to acknowledge his presence on that particular island. To take only a Korean fishing boat, not any other boats, in order to escape from that island. So these were the instructions given by the doctor to the prisoner. All right. So after that, he escapes. Okay. So the soldier takes the flashlight and he moves out of the house. Okay, so every evening the doctor used to stand by the shore of the sea and he used to look into that island. He always used to see that one flash, and he knew that the soldier was still on that island and he was safe. So meanwhile, he's called by the surgeon again, and this time he has performed an operation on the surgeon. And his operation was something to do with the gallbladder. That was what was giving him problem. And there he tells the general that the enemy had escaped. When the general starts recovering, that is when he tells about the escape of the soldier. Okay, and then the general tells him, I was very careless, but it was not due to dereliction of duty. It was not because, I failed to fulfill my obligation. Okay, it was because I was sick, he says. And then he kind of tells doctor also not to talk about this matter anymore, because he didn't want anybody to pinpoint at him, to kind of blame him or Dr. Sadao. So he told Dr. Sadao not to talk about this matter anymore. All right. So you see, um, the general was a bit selfish because, first of all, like Aniket, you had asked me about this selfishness thing. So, first of all, when he promises to send his assassins, he does not. He forgets about his promise to Dr. Sadaf because he is, you know, a self-observed person. The entire world revolves only around him. He was selfish not to think about Sadaf and his family. He was like, too full of himself. He thought only about himself, about his sickness, about his comfort. Okay? And also, he kind of completely forgot about this. I mean, like, that soldier was an enemy of the nation. He should have sent assassin to kill that instant, but he did not give it much importance. He gave his disease, his own self, much importance rather than the enemy. He considered himself to be the center of focus, and he just chose to forget about the enemy and the doctor. I'm like, the doctor was having a tough time. I'm like, after all, he was an enemy. The soldier was an enemy. And when Dr. Sadao, as a citizen, he reported everything to the general. The general should have taken action then. But no, the general did not take any action because he was too full of himself. He was only thinking about his disease. He was only thinking about his own sickness. So that's why you can say that he is quite selfish. And in the first place, okay, he's selfish because he did not want Sadao to leave the place, the country, and go to the war front, because he wanted Dr. Sadaf for himself and not for the other soldiers. He wanted only for himself. So that way also he was very selfish. Aniket, is that clear? Okay, you got it. And then, so now Sadao is free of the burden. Okay, number one, because the prisoner was not there anymore. Okay, number two, because he had already told the general, and he knew that the general would never talk about this topic anymore. He would not take it out, because it was not only Dr. Sadao but also the general to be blamed. In fact, as a true citizen, he had reported to the general, but it was the general who did not fulfill his obligation. Okay, so by now everything had returned back to normal with the soldier gone. Okay, he did not have to worry anymore, and moreover, the servants also had returned back. Now, this particular evening, again, and looked at that island dusk time, he did not see any flash of light. So he assumed that the soldier must have left the island safely. And that's how the story ends. So at the end, you see, the doctor has fulfilled his duty as a true doctor by saving his patient, by treating him. And he has also fulfilled his duty as a true citizen of the country, because as a citizen, he did report about the existence of the enemy in his house to the general. So you see, he had done both the duties. But it was the general who failed to fulfill his obligation.